worked with B-school admissions as long as I have, you start to recognize a number of questions that people ask over and over again. It gets to the point where you pretty much know the answer to the question before you even finish reading the subject line of the email. Many of these questions are about the nuts and bolts aspects of MBA admissions. Do I need work experience to apply? Is financial aid available for MBA students? If I'm not admitted in round 1, why be reconsidered in round 2? It's understandable that newbies to B-school admissions would have questions like these. There are other questions, though, that are pointless to ask, no matter how much you want to know the answer. That's because no responsible admissions officer would pretend they have enough information to give you an honest reply. Here are 3 questions that I hear over and over again. Hardly a day goes by where I don't get a question like, I'm a 27-year-old engineer with 5 years of work experience, a 3.2 undergrad GPA from a competitive university, and a 710 GMAT. What are my chances of being admitted to a top B school? I'll answer a question like that by telling the person that applicants with similar profiles have been admitted to top schools, and they should be competitive if they prepare a strong application. If I'm pressed for specifics, though, the only responsible answer I can give is, I don't know. Simply put, we need a complimentary assessment which entails the applicant completing a very thorough questionnaire to dig down deeply enough to competently opine on their chances. This is because admissions decisions are not made on the basis of numbers alone. Things like the reasons for wanting an MBA, the insights you've gained from your past work and learning experiences, and your reasons for applying to a particular school, and how well you convey all of that overall through your essays are also key elements in the admissions committee's decisions. 2 people with the exact same work experience, GPA, and GMAT scores can have completely different application outcomes. No one can really tell you what your chances are of being admitted into a business school until they've seen all the information that a B-school admissions committee will see. There are actually 2 questions being asked here. 1, how many applications has the school received this year? And 2, what are my admissions chances in light of that? You'll never get a clear answer from an admissions office about the current year's application volume. For one thing, no one knows what that year's application volume will be until the application season is over. Even if round 1 application volume surges, it doesn't necessarily mean an overall increase for that year. Prospective applicants might have decided to apply to that school more in round 1 than in previous years. As they say about opera, it's not over until the fat lady sings. In business school admissions, the fat lady doesn't sing until the last application deadline of that season. But even if you ask the application volume question, you're still not likely to get a clear answer. Admissions offices don't like to discuss these numbers with applicants because it's not a productive discussion. No one can tell you what your chances are given a pool of thousands of candidates until they've seen all of those applications. As with the what are my admissions chances question, the only responsible answer anyone can give here is, I don't know. You can figure out for yourself whether your GMAT score falls in the middle range of scores for previous admits to your targeted school by looking at that school's statistics. Beyond that, there are too many factors involved for anyone to say, yes, you'll need at least a 710 to get into that business school. Don't forget that the 25th to 75th GMAT score percentile range only represents the scores of 1/2 of the students who matriculated at that school in the particular year. The other half of the class had GMAT scores either above or below that range. And also, don't forget that even people with perfect GMATs can and do get dinged. And when they do, it's not because their test score was not high enough. And here too, context matters. 2 applicants with the same GMAT score might need completely different advice on whether to retake the test. One person might be well advised to retake the test if their applicant profile would benefit from a higher GMAT score. And another person might be wasting their time taking the GMAT a second time. They might be better off spending their time on other parts of their application, such as their essays or recommendations. I can't blame B-school applicants for continuing to ask these 3 questions, and others like them year after year. The competition for admission to the top business schools is always intense. Asking questions like these is one way to vent some of the stress that comes with that territory. Smart applicants, though, will accept that there's little to be gained from seeking answers to these unanswerable questions. You'll be much better off if you put your anxieties aside and focus on understanding your unique applicant profile and how it will impact you as an individual applicant as you seek admission to business school.
Are you seeking admission to a stretch school? We have the expertise and we're here to help. Call us at 1-800-809-0800 to learn how we can help you achieve your educational dreams and ambitions.